Every communication system has a certain amount of bandwidth. That means it can carry so much of data of targets. Now, if it is made for, say, 500 targets and you have suddenly 1200 targets, so you choke your systems. Distributed network is a very important thing to ensure that you protect your system from being choked and being operationally effective. Drone to count numbers is a perception of the person who's given it. So maybe I would say anything between maybe 800 to 1000 across the whole western border. Yes, a large number. And one thing for sure is all the UCAV drones, which actually carried a payload, although their intent was to harm civil population and they were directed towards population centers, we ensured that they did not cause any damage. And I think the proof of the pudding is actually in what we actually saw, that there were no civilian casualties. Every communication system has a certain amount of bandwidth. That means it can carry so much of data of targets. Now, if it is made for, say, 500 targets and you have suddenly 1200 targets, so you choke your systems. So I think this distributed network is a very important thing to ensure that you protect your system from being choked and being operationally effective.
When it comes to drones, what I want to know is, like, when your adversary purchases an aircraft or a submarine or something, it's an international deal. It can't be done undercover. Everybody knows that X number of aircraft have been bought or shipped or whatever, or some guns. But when it comes to drones, nobody knows na कि कितना order किया है, क्या आ रहा है, इसमें क्या payload डाला है. So there is an element of surprise, and even these loitering munitions that everybody is talking about, वो भी नहीं पता चलता कि adversary ने कितना खरीदा है. So how does one deal with this kind of a situation?
That's a brilliant question, because it is like this, that over the years, the concept of air threat, the numbers, the quantity of aircraft, as you brought out, we knew Pakistan had so many aircraft, China had so many aircrafts. You could fly an aircraft 4 times a day. Your pilot to cockpit to aircraft ratio was so much, so you could generate so many sorties per day. So it's on the basis of this that our ammunition calculation was done. That if you have so much of quantitative and qualitative threat, how much do you cater for? But as you brought out, there is no fixed number of drones. So we've got to go back to the drawing board to understand that, how much of logistic stamina that we require for such a new threat. This new threat has actually, you can't have expensive missiles. It doesn't work out that way. It's too expensive. So we've got to have systems in place which, like gun ammunition, which has a greater amount of sustainability over a period of time, because there is no quantity. As you said, you can have 5,000 drones, you can have 10,000, you can have 20,000. Now, that means you have to cater for ammunition. And I think we've got to get back to understand that how do we cater for this ammunition, because it's not quantifiable in numbers. And hence and not only that, first is the amount of ammunition, and secondly is the type of ammunition. Today, if you have you have a particular ammunition which is like a stone. So if you throw a stone at a drone, you might hit it, might not hit it. But if you throw a stone which actually fragments into small pellets or small stones, then you will get maybe 5-6 drones. So the L70 pre-fragmented fuse cartridge is the ammunition that we used in adequate measure here. And this is the future of how to take on threat of drones, is to use pre-fragmented ammunition, so that as it comes close to the target, you're dead sure that if it fragments and it throws out these little splinters, you will hit a drone rather than just throw a stone directly.
This PFC rounds, that is required in large numbers. That's what you're saying, sir. Sir, you have the Akash system. You have in the army. You have the Akash. You have the MR-SAM. You have the Iglas. You have the L70s. You have the Zu-23s. You have seen. You are the DG-AD, sir. So, which one of them is the hero of this conflict, sir?
I think
biggest hero. Every system is a hero, but for you, which one is the biggest hero?
No. Yeah, this is like pick your favorite child kind of question.
Yeah, but it's like this, that it is undisputable that a gun system has been extremely effective, an air defense gun system. And I think that we in the army have to thank my predecessors and the army, that we, unlike other countries which started moving away from guns into the realm of missiles, the Indian army held on to its guns. And even our successor gun, which is to come up for trials in July, we realized over a period of time that the gun is an irreplaceable form of air defense. And I think whether it's the L-70 or the Zoo or the Shilka, or even a LMG or an MMG in ACAC role which the infantry has, is going to make a huge difference as far as drone destruction goes. So
And,
the gun is the undisputable, the air defense gun.
So these guns must have destroyed at least around 60% of the drones that Pakistan sent, sir?
Yeah, I would say that quantity would be a reasonable assumption, yes.
And what would be the total number of drones, large size, small size, medium size, that they would have sent in this in these 4 days, sir?
You see, so it is like this, that a drone, to count numbers is a perception of the person who's given it. So maybe I would say anything between maybe 800 to 1,000 across the whole western border, yes.
In 4 days.
In 4 days, yeah, roughly.
And majority of them got destroyed.
Yeah, a large number. And one thing for sure is all the UCAV drones, which actually carried a payload, although their intent was to harm civil population and they were directed towards population centers, we ensured that they did not cause any damage. And I think the proof of the pudding is actually in what we actually saw, that there were no civilian casualties. But this is something that we've got to be very, very careful of in the years ahead, because if this is form of conflict, then our civil population areas are as important, if not more, than anybody else at the border.